Welcome back to Beyond the Gate. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because today's episode, what if the person standing right next to you was already in too deep? What if the danger you feared wasn't coming, but already here? And what if one wrong step, one elevator door opening at the wrong time, could expose everything? Today's episode of Beyond the Gates doesn't just raise the stakes, it shatters them. Secrets are weaponized, loyalties are tested, and one shocking reveal proves the enemy has been hiding in plain sight all along. Before we dive in, hit that like button, drop your theories below, and subscribe to BTG Update 24, because today, nothing and no one is safe. Let's get into it. Balance scale Anita's secret gamble, and the man she chose. The room is quiet, too quiet, not the kind of silence that brings peace, but the kind that hides intention. Because Anita Dupree, she didn't call Bill over for small talk. She didn't call him for comfort. She called him for control. The kind of control you only reach for when you've stared death in the face and realized that survival doesn't guarantee safety. Because survival still leaves questions, still leaves vulnerability, still leaves the terrifying possibility that everything you built could fall apart the moment you're gone. And Anita? She refuses to let that happen. She sits across from Bill, calm, focused, unshaken. But her eyes? They tell a different story. This isn't just preparation. This is protection. For Vernon. That's where it begins. Not with herself, with him. Because she knows her husband, knows his strength, but more importantly, knows his breaking point. If something happens to me, he won't be able to hold it together. There it is. The fear she won't say out loud to anyone else. The truth she won't burden her daughters with. But Bill gets the unfiltered version. And what she asks next changes everything. I want you to be co-executor of my will. A beat. Bill doesn't move, doesn't speak. Because that's not a small request. That's power. That's authority. That's trust, given to the one man who has stood on both sides of this family. And before he can even process it, she goes further. I want you as co-trustee. Now the silence feels heavier, because this isn't just about paperwork. This is about influence, legacy, control over everything she leaves behind. And one detail makes it even more explosive. She doesn't want Vernon to handle it alone. Which means she doesn't fully trust him to survive the aftermath. And that's a decision that could fracture everything. But Bill, he doesn't hesitate, doesn't question, doesn't challenge, because somewhere in all of this, he understands. And maybe, just maybe, he sees an opportunity to. Snake Leslie declares war. Without saying the word. Across town, the tension is less quiet, more visible, more dangerous. Because Leslie is done pretending, at least partially. She stands in front of Vernon, and the air between them crackles. Not with anger, but with something colder, something sharper, something personal. Vernon doesn't hold back. Not this time. Not after everything. You will never have the high ground. His voice is steady, controlled. But every word lands like a verdict. You will never be respected. And just like that, he strips away the illusion she's been trying to build. The image, the reputation, the narrative. But Leslie? She doesn't flinch. Because respect was never the point. Power was. Control was. Presence was. And when she walks away, it's not defeat, it's calculation. Because later, when she sits with Eva, she finally says it out loud. I just want to be respected. But Eva, she's not naive. Not anymore. She sees the pattern, the provocation, the constant need to push boundaries, to poke the bear. And that's when Leslie smiles. That slow, dangerous, unapologetic smile. You didn't get the memo. A pause. Just long enough to shift the energy. I am the bear. And suddenly, everything makes sense. Because Leslie isn't reacting. She's initiating. She's not being attacked. She's the one attacking. And anyone who stands in her way, better be ready. House a confession that could change everything. Back at home, the atmosphere softens. But only on the surface. Because Sharon is there, trying, gently, carefully, to comfort Anita, to ease the weight she's been carrying. to bring some sense of calm into a storm that hasn't fully passed. And for a moment, it works. Anita allows herself to breathe, to rest, to just be. But the moment Sharon leaves, the truth comes back, because Vernon walks in, and Anita, she doesn't hesitate. She tells him everything about Bill, about the will, about the trust, about the decisions she made behind his back. And in that moment, time slows. Because this isn't just a conversation. This is a test of trust, of loyalty, of love. And depending on how Vernon reacts, everything could shift. Performing arts Haley's double game starts to crack. Meanwhile, at the office, a different kind of tension builds. Quiet, subtle, but unmistakable. Because Haley is watching, listening, calculating, and what she hears changes her approach completely. Tomas is with Lynette, and at first, it looks harmless, light, playful, almost flirtatious. Lynette brings muffins. Yes, muffins. But underneath that sugary surface, there's something sharper. Because Lynette isn't just being friendly. She's probing, testing, warning. Don't play a player. And Tomas? He plays along. Charm turned all the way up. Confidence effortless. But Haley? She's not fooled. She bursts in, doesn't knock, doesn't wait. And immediately, the temperature drops. Because her presence changes the dynamic. She doesn't like what she sees, doesn't like what she suspects, and most importantly, doesn't like what this could mean. Once Tomas leaves, the real conversation begins, and Haley lays it out. Cold, precise, dangerous. He's in love with Bill's niece. Which means, he has no reason to flirt with Lynette, unless he's digging, looking for information, looking for leverage, looking for something to use. And just as that realization settles in, the door opens, and Bill walks in. Perfect timing, or terrible timing, depending on how you look at it. Because now, everything is exposed. Everything is suspicious. And Haley, she moves fast, pushes Lynette out, controls the narrative, and then, she strikes. She throws Tomas under the bus, completely, revealing that he was flirting, positioning him as the problem, redirecting attention, because in this game, the best defense is misdirection. Mobile phone Naomi's lie starts to unravel. Elsewhere, pressure builds, slowly, relentlessly, because Naomi is running out of room. She denies the burner phone, again, tries to hold the line, tries to maintain control. But Isaiah? He already knows. He's spoken to Jacob, he's connected the dots. And now, he's asking for something simple. A moment, a call, a connection between a worried mother and her son. And Naomi? She says no. Even now. Even when it would mean everything to someone else. Because saying yes means admitting the truth, means exposing everything, means risking it all. And she's not ready. Not yet. But the cracks are showing. Warning, danger gets closer. Without warning. Nearby, Ashley and Grayson watch, observe, sense that something is off. Because Naomi, she's not acting normal. She's tense, agitated, guarded. And while they don't know the full story, they know enough to be concerned. But concern isn't protection. Because danger doesn't wait for clarity. It moves. Quietly, relentlessly, and often, too late. Handshake comfort, or complication. At the club, Naomi finally lets her guard down, just a little. With Smitty, she admits she's overwhelmed, stressed, constantly worried. And for a moment, she's not hiding, she's not deflecting, she's just human. And Smitty, he responds with warmth, with presence, with something she hasn't allowed herself to feel in a while. Support. He pulls her into a hug, grounds her, tells her she doesn't have to carry everything alone. But even that moment is complicated, because leaning on someone else means letting them in. And letting someone in means risking exposure. Eyes, first impressions, and lasting judgments. Meanwhile, Isaiah introduces Eva to Darlene. Two worlds collide. And immediately, you feel it. The judgment, the tension, the unspoken history, because Darlene already knows about Leslie, about the chaos, about the reputation, and Eva is tied to all of it. So before Eva even has a chance, the decision is made. Darlene isn't impressed, not even close, and instead of staying, instead of trying, she leaves, quickly, decisively, because sometimes, first impressions aren't just powerful, they're final. Brain the master reveal. Everything changes. And then, the moment that shifts everything, the moment that redefines the entire game, Grayson is pulled aside by Leah, chief of staff, authority figure, respected, trusted, invisible in all the ways that matter. And what she says changes everything. She wants him deeper, closer, more embedded, in the clinic, in the system, in the operation. And at first, it sounds strategic, calculated, professional, until it isn't, because the truth finally surfaces. She's not just involved, she's not just aware, she's not just connected, she is the power, the head, the force behind it all, the blood ring, the network, the operation they've been chasing. It leads right to her. And just like that, everything Grayson has said to Jacob becomes a lie, because he knew, or at the very least, he suspected, and he didn't say a word. Moneybag, everyone has a price. Leah doesn't stop there. She pushes further, mentions Derek, tests the waters, suggests recruitment, and Grayson pushes back, calls Derek a good guy, says he wouldn't be interested, wouldn't cross that line, wouldn't get involved. But Leah smiles, because she's heard that before. Everyone has a price. And then, she delivers the line that lingers. You're proof of that. And just like that, the illusion of control shattered. Police car like the moment that changes everything. And then, the final moment. The one that ties it all together. The one that pushes everything to the edge. Jacob, Grayson, another handoff. Another secret exchange. This time, in an elevator. Confined. Contained. Nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide. And just as the doors begin to close, they open again. And Ashley steps in. Unaware. Unprepared. Completely exposed. And in that moment, every secret, every lie, every hidden truth, is 1 second away from being revealed. The danger is here. So let me ask you, did Anita make the right call trusting Bill? Is Leslie about to go full war mode? Can Haley keep control? Or is her web collapsing? And what happens when Ashley realizes she's standing in the middle of something deadly? Drop your theories in the comments. I want to hear everything. And if you felt the tension rising, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Because next week, there's a showdown coming. And not everyone will walk away from it. This is BTG Update 24. And the danger? It's only just begun.